welcome to City English. I'm Cherri. City, C-I-T-Y, stands for Can I Teach You? Can I Teach You English has two meanings. One is ability. Can I teach you English? Do I know how? Second is permission. Can I teach you English? Is it okay with you? Today, I want to talk about pronunciation. I am American. I was raised for a few years on Long Island in New York, and I was raised for many years in the suburbs of Chicago. My mother is from Chicago, my father is from New York, but I don't know where my accent is from. My accent is pretty neutral because in high school and college, I did radio broadcast and television broadcast. So I usually sound like this, like a teacher. I want to talk about some sounds that are very difficult for my students. Let's start with B, P, F, and V. These sounds are in the same family. So to make the B sound, we just use our lips. Ba, ba. So bowl, bind, bail. Next, we have the P sound. The way I describe it is the P sound is lips plus air. So when you make the P sound, P, P, there should be air coming from your mouth. So pole, pine, pale. Okay. The F sound is teeth, lower lip, air. F, f, full, fine, fail. And the V sound is teeth, lower lip, vibration. V, v. You should be able to hold it. V. So vole, vine, veil. The reason why many students have a problem with these sounds is because if you skip one of the steps, you make the wrong sound. So if I want to make the V sound, but I don't use my teeth, I make a B. Van, ban, ban, van. If I want to make the F sound, but I don't use my teeth, so please, fleas, fleas, please. So it's very easy to make mistakes because they're in the same family. Okay. When my students practice pronunciation in class, I can correct them, but it's difficult to correct them when they're at home. How do you know if you're making the right sound? So I have a recommendation. My first recommendation is tongue twisters. So tongue twisters help you practice the sound that you have a problem with, whether it be the P or the F or the V. And then I recommend they get a Google Translate app and use the voice function. If your pronunciation is pretty accurate, Google Translate will hear you. But if your voice pronunciation is a little bit off, Google Translate will know. So we're going to practice the very famous Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers tongue twister. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So my pronunciation is pretty good, so it hears me. So when you're practicing a certain sound, you can turn on Google Translate and see if it hears you correctly. A lot of my students get very frustrated because Google Translate does not hear them. But this is the best thing that I found for students to be able to practice alone at home and to know if they're making the right sound. Because after the age of about 2, you cannot hear some of the sound differences if they don't exist in your home language. So for example, in Korea, it's very difficult to know the difference between an L and an R because you can't hear them. For me, when I listen to Korean, I have a hard time hearing some differences because it's not my native language. So that's my first recommendation. Okay, next I want to talk about the ever difficult L and R. In school, most of my students are taught very clearly that they have to put their tongue behind their teeth to make the L sound. This is true. When I make the L sound naturally, my tongue is behind my teeth, but it's not completely true. Like, 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 like. With the L sound, I have a little bit of flexibility. So sometimes when I teach the L sound in class, I actually stick my tongue between my teeth. Like, lake, low. I'm still making an L sound. Uh, with the L sound, your tongue can move. Now, when we get to the R sound is very difficult. With the R sound, your tongue does not move. In fact, the sides of your tongue are trapped next to the sides of your teeth. So if you ever come to my class, you will see my students doing something very silly. They do this so that their tongue is squeezed by their teeth. If their tongue moves, that is not an R sound. So, right, rake, row. Right, rake, row. Your mouth should be tight and your lips should be flared, and then you're making an R. So watch my mouth. Like, right. Lake, rake. Low, row. 1, L, my tongue moves. R, my tongue doesn't move and my mouth is very tight. Now, some of my students have not a more difficult problem, but the W. The W is actually very close to the R, but with the W, your mouth is more round. So instead of your tongue being trapped next to your teeth, your tongue has a little bit of space. So some of my students, when they make the R sound, they're making a W sound. So they say wake, white, whoa. If you notice, my mouth is very round. Wake, white, whoa. But when I make the R sound, my lips are flared. White, right. Wake, rake. Whoa, row. So if your mouth is too open, you usually make a W sound. So again, Google Translate. Lake, wake, rake. It heard me, but it's giving me strange words. Lake, wake, rake. Lake, wake, rake. I messed up. It gave me Rick. So practice these sounds. Light, white, right. Lay, row, whoa. So practice your L, your R, and your W. Okay, let's see. What else gives my students a lot of trouble? The TH sound. The TH sound is actually very personal for me. I had to go to speech therapy because when I was a child, I spoke like this all the time. I had a lisp. And a lisp means that I didn't know when to use my tongue, so I said everything with my tongue out. So I had to go to speech therapy to learn to pull my tongue back in. So with the TH sound, we have 2 TH sounds. One is tongue between your teeth and air. The other one is tongue between your teeth and vibrate. If you don't, what happens is instead of making a TH sound, you make an S sound or a D sound. So for example, earth, 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 earth. When my tongue is not between my teeth, it's an S sound. Mother, mother, mutter, mutter. When my tongue is not between my teeth, it's a D sound. So tongue between your teeth and air, earth, month, mouth. I can't think of words that start with the TH. I can't. Anyway, and of course, mother, father, brother. So actually, this is one of the ones where there are quite a few English speakers who have this pronunciation problem, native speakers who don't use their tongue to pronounce the TH sound. So actually, I think this one is one of the ones that bothers me a little bit, but is not a huge problem in terms of being understood. Let's see, is there anything else that I think is important? S, SH, those are important. Z and J, those are important. There are too many sounds, which means I have to make a totally new pronunciation video of totally different sounds. So I guess this is pronunciation video number 1. Bye.